Welcome back, everyone, to Rose and Carter doing the job. It's Wednesday, so it's territory show day. Bully Boy's picked this week. He loves a bit of Canada, does Bully Boy Carter. So he's taken us to Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling. To be fair, I couldn't find a great deal of history about. Oh, let me tell you before we go any further. You know, the last time we were in Canada for All Star, wasn't it, Vancouver?
Right, yeah.
Now, I shared it on the Vancouver Wrestling page on Facebook, what we did.
Okay.
And this one fucking idiot, right, and I'm going to share this one on there so you probably see this and also, fuck him. This one fucking idiot says that we clearly don't know what we're talking about. Well, that's the whole fucking idea of doing this, is so we can watch it to find out what we're fucking talking about.
I seen that and I thought, yeah, like the whole point of doing these podcasts is to find out more about people that we don't know. Well, I'm not gonna fucking do a podcast of fucking DN wrestling that I run because I know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm gonna do a fucking these to talk about shows or maybe wrestlers that we're unfamiliar with or whatever the case is to fucking try to learn more about fucking that we don't know about. We don't know everything about everything. You know what I mean?
One of them was a former. Well, there was two fucking dickheads. One's called Al something, and then there was a Jonathan someone. Right now, I actually am friends on Facebook with this Jonathan somebody. I can't remember his surname, but he was a wrestler in All-Star in Vancouver.
Okay.
Right. And I messaged him saying, "What's the fucking heat here? Like, what's the beef? I don't understand what you're saying in the context of I just didn't get what the fucking problem was." And then he backtracked a bit, saying there's no problems, maybe some kind of communication problem, maybe it was someone else that I should have sent it to, which I thought was fucking bollocks myself. I just think he fucking chicken shitted his way out of it. But apparently it was something to do with like Alpine earthquake break-in, which makes sense in that area, innit? But it all sounds like fucking bullshit to me. And he was a friend of Al Tomko's, and I don't think we shit on Al Tomko in that thing, really.
We didn't.
I just said that he was on every fucking segment.
Yeah,
I
was probably fucking quite complimentary towards Al Tomko. I quite enjoyed what I watched. I fucking said that in the podcast. But the whole point is, some of the fucking when you're watching an old show like that, and they don't have the fucking names coming up on the screen, we're not gonna. I'm going off what I'm hearing from the commentators, and with the fucking different quality and sounds, I'm probably pronouncing the names fucking. I said that they're probably nothing like I'm fucking hearing, but like what we done tonight, the fucking names come up on the screen for like so I could fucking write them down. But there, I don't know who the wrestlers are. Never seen them fucking in my life before. We're talking about shit that we have no fucking idea about, and that's the whole point of it. Like, you know what I mean? So I think people because we weren't there, we don't fucking live there. We're not familiar with them, and we didn't fucking. You know what I mean? We had nothing to do with that shit over there. That we don't have a right to fucking talk about it. And I think that's fucking bollocks.
I wouldn't have minded at all if it was an educational comment that they made. The people that you're talking about are him and him.
Yeah, there was was one.
Everything we've done, we've never shit on anyone really in the grand scale. I mean, there's stuff that we don't like, but that we're not disrespectful to them. We're just saying that's just not our cup of tea, right? But
yeah, I mean, there was one comment that was fucking. There was like, all right, like he kind of did educate us because he said who they were when I got the names wrong. He'd put in the comment. I don't if you remember that one, and he said, "Oh, it was him and this guy, whatever." And that was like the kind of comments you'd expect because they're trying to fill us in on the situation. But then when you get fucking idiots that just want to have a go at you for fucking trying to, you know what I mean, for trying to learn more about something we don't know about, then they make fucking, you know what I mean? It says more about them than it does about us because they fucking like idiots.
We're going out of our comfort zone and out of our fucking wrestling bubble. Well, we're not in a wrestling bubble because we watch so much fucking different wrestling. You know what I mean? We're trying to broaden our horizons as much as humanly possible in a time where we can't fucking go and watch wrestling. So fucking bollock, fuck them.
Yeah,
But
fuck them out. Like it, I said,
we've had really fucking good comments on several others, like fucking where was it? St. Louis that we did. I can't
right,
remember.
okay.
But, you know, really positive things. You know, saying that people that were there at the time and did wrestle for them at the time on a lower level, are saying what a blast from the past it was and good to relive the memories and that kind of thing. So can't win them all, can you? It's just them fucking. It's just that one page. Clearly, fucking people in Vancouver have an issue. I'm going to take it up with Vancouver. Them two fucking idiots are representing the whole of Vancouver.
Yeah, and it fucking like I seen it and I didn't comment, but I was gonna, but I wouldn't have fucking shut up because I'd have just rambled on for fucking ages because I thought if you're gonna fucking if you're gonna criticize someone, at least have a fucking reason to criticize, like you know what I mean? And I think they made themselves look like a couple of dicks, to be honest, because we just done what we fucking done since we've been doing since the beginning, like fuck 'em.
And because there wasn't a billion followers, we don't do this for a billion followers. We do this every night anyway. So we're now doing this in the public eye. This is what we do at home, innit? Right? At night, we're fucking texting each other saying, "I've just seen this" or "I've just seen that." So now we're doing it in a video format, and just happen to be putting it on. If no fucker sees it, don't fucking bother my life. But if one person sees it, enjoys it, even better, right?
Yeah.
So we haven't got a billion followers, but we ain't fuck all, so it doesn't really matter, does it? And we would have been doing this anyway. So back to Canada. Hopefully a better part of Canada, not where them two dicks represent. Emile Dupree. This is because there were several Atlantic Grand Prix that I found on the internet, but this is the one that we're watching. I found 3 different websites with 3 different dates on of when it started and stopped. One said it started in the 60s. One said just the 70s or 76, I think it was. But on the very small Wikipedia, it says 77 to 86, which sounds about right going by what I've seen. And, it fits your date, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think. No, mine was 87.
Oh, you're...
Yeah, mine was June 87, unless the YouTube was wrong.
No, mine's 86, but
But I'm just going. Wikipedia says 77 to 86, but mine's June 87. But what's a year? Friends, right?
From what I read, I could be wrong because I don't know fuck all about this promotion. Like I could have read it wrong, but I thought that this actual Grand Prix wrestling I thought it was still going today because
yeah, it is by all accounts, but it's like a fresh start. There was a break, and then there was sort of mid 2000s it kicked in again.
Yeah, like maybe but I think so. Is it still like the same people as it was back then, or is it like a totally different?
It had different names next to it for currently, so I really don't know. I only really focused on what I could find out about the Emile Dupree of that period, because I knew that was what they were doing, and because I know there were several others, of several of the same time period and others each side. So
didn't like the Vachons run something in the 70s?
It says on the Wikipedia, it says not connected with the Vachons of wrestling of Montreal.
Yeah, but they had the same name, didn't they? Coming out the same.
Yeah. Yeah. But that was in the 70s, so maybe it was just slightly earlier or just overlapping or whatever. But all I could find on this particular promotion was they had an international title, which was held by Lanny Poffo, Randy Savage, Frenchie Martin, Rip Rogers, Killer Cole Krupp, so big names. A US champion, which seems odd being a Canadian promotion. Why would you have a US champion? Doesn't make any fucking sense to me. But I don't know the rules. It's like us have a Canadian champion, isn't it? That was 80 to 84. A Maritimes champion, because that was the primary area of which in Canada, which they did. 84 and 85, that was. So that was their sort of regional title. And a North American tag title as well. But you know, the international title, Lanny, Randy, Frenchie Martin, Rip Rogers were the biggest four names on that, you know, title history. Fucking impressive list, to be fair.
Hmm.
Right, so you did 86, didn't you? So yours is before mine.
Yeah.
All right, let's rock.
Okay, so yeah, it's not got like the month or anything. It's just 86. So that's all I know. But hang on, where are we? Hang on, my phone's going a bit funny. Hang on, are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, I lost you for a sec. Right, okay. So the first match is, I think there's 5 matches in total. The first one is Bobby Crawford.
Oh yeah, I've got one of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Versus the Cuban Assassin.
Oh, the one with the big beard.
Yeah. And they actually announced the Cuban Assassin as the 8th wonder of the world, which
is odd, isn't it? Because he's about 5'9" and fucking 15 stone.
But if this was 86, like Andre was already that, weren't he?
Mm.
I
have a very unique name rip off on mine. So, you know, it must have just been a thing that it was like that then, though, wasn't it? In the sort of the territories that people that watched that particular territory didn't really see a lot of other wrestling.
No.
So you could. I mean, the British were known for it because they'll see a name in a magazine and take Steve Regal, you know, was taken from Mr. Electricity, Steve Regal, Greg Valentine over here. You know, there was lots of sort of stolen names. And they weren't stolen, they were just borrowed, weren't they? Because nobody else thought they'd ever see these people again. You know, see these people on TV.
Yeah.
You know, it was perfectly accepted, wasn't it? You know, I have no issue with it.
I
Take it.
I'd never heard of Bobby Crawford before. Couldn't tell you anything about him.
This makes me think this is 86, the one that I did, not 87. Because one, it said it ran from 77 to 86. And two, Bobby Crawford on mine is still relatively new.
Right.
They say in the commentary that he's still new. So,
okay.
Maybe I'll look it out.
Right. This match was pretty much like fairly one-sided, and it was actually the Cuban Assassin was the face here, which I thought was a bit strange for me. At first, he looked like a heel, but no, he just like, I was expecting him to, you know, come out as the heel, but no, it was weird. In fact, it happened a couple of times on here as well, because I've got Leo Burke wrestles later, and I think he was generally a heel, and he was a face here as well. So it was really weird. But anyway, yeah. So Bobby Crawford against the Cuban Assassin. So they start with a tie up to the ropes and a break. After that, they do a little bit of chain wrestling and stuff, and then they get to the ropes again, a break. It's real close, like it's all back and forth and stuff. And then like Bobby Crawford is generally getting the upper hand by doing stuff like that's underhanded, like they'll go into some like fucking arm locks and stuff, and Crawford will get advantage by pulling the hair and shit like that kind of thing. But Crawford, yeah, it's all back and forth, and then it's generally all chain, and like the momentum doesn't seem to go anywhere. You know what I mean? They'll do some shit and then they'll, you know, kind of get to the ropes, or they'll break or shit like that. But I did enjoy it though. It was good. It's real back and forth, like I say. Crawford keeps getting control by just using the Cuban's hair like all the time. Cuban does hit like a slam out of nowhere, but Crawford is back in control, like back on the arm and stuff. He's working the arm of Cuban. Cuban switches it and then whips Crawford. Yeah, Cuban gets back in control, whips Crawford off the ropes and hits a back elbow. But then once he's done that, Crawford like gets back in control. It was like, it kind of reminded me, it's kind of, just saying about it now, it kind of reminded me of like when I first started, and I don't know how new Crawford is here, so it might be totally fucking unrelated, but like, you can probably understand where I'm coming from. So when I first started wrestling, and you kind of just, you're in a situation where you're doing shit that you never planned in the match. Like it just kind of, you know, so as the heel, like now it's all right. I'll take all the shit I can from the faces. But back then when I first started, I always like to be in control. Like, you know what I mean? The face when they fight back, I was probably quite guilty of cutting them off before they wanted to be cut off because I was uncomfortable, like fucking taking all the shit. I wasn't giving it because I was in control. And that's kind of what it reminded me of. Like, because it's just like I say, whenever Cuban's in control, boom. And Cuban's like a fucking scary, like kind of dominant kind of character, you'd think.
I'm a long-established wrestler by that point.
Yeah, it was. So it was kind of, it was kind of funny, like thinking back now, like it is literally Crawford always going back into it. Cuban does fight back with some chest clubs against the ropes, and he grabs him and throws him through the ropes. Cuban jumps to the outside after him, gives him a slam on the outside, rolls him back in, and then back in, and Crawford whips Cuban off, gives Cuban a backdrop, boom, and then he goes to whip him off again, goes for another backdrop, but Cuban hits the DDT, and that's the finish there, 1, 2, 3. So it was generally Crawford, just not fucking, you know, not really fucking letting him get anything in until literally right the last few seconds. But it was quite funny to watch, actually, thinking about it. It was like, you know, because I don't know, I don't think I've ever heard the name Bobby Crawford. He could have gone on to be like a big name there. I just don't know. I'm not familiar with him, but
it's all bad in mine in the one I've got him in. So, you know, who knows what he went on to do, isn't it? He might be somebody that we actually fucking know of for now, and
well, yeah,
we just totally bypass, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but no, it was all right though. The match itself was, I did enjoy it. I did enjoy the match, but it was just, it kind of did remind me of, you know, not wanting to take anything because he didn't take much until the finish, to be fair. It was good though. It was good. Right, so the next match is a couple of fucking names. It's a little bit hard to pronounce, but I'm glad they fucking came up on the screen because I'd wrote them down and then they came up, so I fucking crossed something out. Because like the first one's Rocky Del Sora and his tag team partner Paul Peller.
I've got a Paul Peller as well.
Yeah.
Stomping Paul Peller, he was on mine.
I think he was here as well, yeah. Against Jerry Etienne. Yeah, something like that. Etienne, that's
right.
Ier. Like, I think he's like a French kind of name. And he's tagging up with the great Malumba, who's like from Africa.
As well. Yeah, like a, you know, Samoan kind of look, isn't it?
Yeah.
So he was pretty cool. I quite like his look, and he was all right on mine. Paul Peller, on the other hand, wasn't so much of a fan of. No.
This match was just
Paul Peller's fucking, you know, great grandson's watching. It's just against Paul Peller. He was just a bit shit. You know what
I mean? Right, hang on then. Right, so trying to think. Right, so we started with Rocky Del Sora and that Etienne guy. I don't know if it's pronounced Etienne. It's something like that anyway. But they go straight at it, and it's two arm, like literally just go straight at it, no tying up, which is quite rare because a lot of these fucking shows that we watch from back then, it all starts with a lock up to the ropes. It's like a lot of it is just the same kind of steady start, but they just go straight into it. Literally, fucking Rocky just runs at him, two arm drag straight away, boom. He does like headlock takedowns. Etienne does two like headlock takedowns out the corner, running up the corner. But he looked a bit unconvincing on his feet, to be fair, like quite not as crisp as you'd think. But It looked all right though, just a bit like fucking on edge. But a couple of headlock takedowns out the corner, shining by Etienne. And then all of a sudden, Rocky nails him with a knee to the gut, takes over a little bit. But not long after that, Etienne shines some more with a headlock takedown. Etienne's in control. Finally, Rocky tags in that Paul Peller, and Malumba gets tagged in. So now it's Malumba and Paul. Malumba goes straight to Paul's arm, working on the wrist. There's a nice little spot here as he's working on the wrist. Fucking Paul's in the wrist lock, but then he gets too close to Rocky, so he like literally is able to tag, and you don't see that very often, do you? As he's fucking, so it makes sense if you're close enough to tag.
It's cool. It's real, isn't it? If you get too close, you're gonna tag.
Yeah.
It fascinates me when people get posted into their own corner and they don't tag. Like you've been battered for fucking 10 minutes, and then the dickhead villain sends you into your own corner.
Right. Yeah. So where are we? Yeah, they get tagged in now. So now it's Malumba on Rocky. Malumba tags in Etienne again. Arm work on Rocky. They go. There's a nice spot where they go for the knuckle lock. And so it's Rocky and Etienne, and Etienne being the face, obviously. So they go for the Greco-Roman knuckle lock. As they're doing it, Rocky kicks him. So Rocky's like in control. They do the whole thing where he goes down and like he's pinning his shoulders to the mat, from the knuckle lock. Like he lifts his fucking shoulder up a couple of times, trying to get it. But he fights back up, Etienne does. And then he takes control with the fucking knuckle lock. So the knuckle lock's been on the whole time. So he's been getting pinned to the floor. He gets up, he fights his way up. So they're both standing again. And this time Etienne breaks the knuckle lock with his knee, lifts his knee up, breaks it, and then hits a drop kick. Boom. Fucking look beautiful that did, to be fair. Out the ring goes Rocky. Towards the end, I get a little bit confused of who's legal. Like both tag partners are in. Paul and Malumba are in. But then I don't really know what the fuck is going on. I don't know who's legal. I've lost fucking track here. But Etienne is in again. Then all four are in and out, like literally in and out. And I don't know what's going on. But the finish just comes out of nowhere. Malumba just runs and hits like a diving headbutt, almost like a fucking clothesline, but with his head, boom. And that's the finish. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, the match was all right. It wasn't as enjoyable as the first one. I know I didn't say the first one was like great or anything, but this match I'd say was okay. The first one I enjoyed. This one was just okay. But yeah.
Yeah. No fucking rotters though, at least. So, in the grand scale of things, doing all right, isn't it?
Well, yeah. Match 3 is probably my favourite one of the whole. Well, yeah, definitely my favourite match of the whole lot. Leo Burke versus the Spoiler.
Right. It's not the spoiler though, is it? Like it's not Don Jardine the spoiler. I had a spoiler, and it was it was pretty good to be fair. The spoiler on the one I watched, but it was Don Jardine. Yeah, it wasn't the well built, tan, smooth skinned fucking the one that Gary Hart used to manage spoiler. But he was still pretty good, and I think every fucking territory had a name like a spoiler in a mouse, man, didn't they? Assassin, fucking spoiler, they've got it all, haven't they?
The what?
Everywhere has an assassin or a spoiler or a fucking...
Yeah, I was going to say that. The assassins, they're in England now, aren't they?
They're on the world tour.
But, Leo Burke and the Spoiler. I've seen bits of Leo Burke from Calgary, from Stampede and stuff, and I always...
The AWA as well. I watched him and could have been him and Ricky Martel for the AWA Championship not so long ago, which could have been from Canada because the AWA did shows in Canada, didn't they?
Yeah, and I actually quite like Leo Burke. I never in fact, I heard about him fucking years ago. I'm gonna say probably 99 time 2000 was the first time I ever heard the name. I didn't see any of him until probably I'd say maybe 10 years ago or something for the first time. But I've seen quite a bit of him since. He just looks like a serious fucking, like, reliable fucking guy to have. Like, you know, he does. He looks really good.
No messy, no frills, just Leo Burke. That's all you need, isn't
Yeah.
it?
They do a fucking there's right, so they literally go straight into it. Leo takes the head. They do a nice little run spot where oh yeah, so they do a nice spot where, in fact, there's two matches on this show where they go for, like, there's a run spot and something like different happens than you'd expect, and it both of it comes from the guy sleeping on the floor. But I'll explain it in the next match as well. But totally different spots, but just both very different. So this one is just real simple. So they do a run spot where Spoiler sleeps, but like I think he might have slept twice, like once on his front, once on his back, or it might have just been once on his back. I don't know. But as Leo Burke's hitting the ropes, the Spoiler sleeps, but on his back. But instead of Leo jumping over him, he just drops a fucking knee to his face, like a knee drop. You know what I mean? Like, look really good. Like, you just expect him to run over and carry on.
Which again looks like a shoot, because I mean, why would you even, when you think about wrestling in sensible terms, one, no fucker is going to whip you to the ropes, are they?
Well, no.
I mean, you can't whip a human like one step in reality, could you? No matter how big or strong you are, it's not going to happen. But then you do that, and then you jump over some fucker and carry on. Like, surely the jump would take away the momentum of the fucking thing, so you could jump and then stop. I kind of get that. I'm not trying to change wrestling because it needs to stay exactly as it is. No, not as it is now, but as it was. But I always overthink things from like a shoot point of view, and none of it makes any sense. I don't want it to make any sense because I love it as it is, but you know, it's a load of bollocks, really, isn't it?
It is. There is a lot of shit. Like, I have debates with people like all the time. Like, you know, because it's hard. There's not like There's not a wrestling match out there that exists that every single thing makes sense because of the situation with fucking, like, you're on about the whipping off the ropes and stuff like that. But you know,
those 20-foot rings, right? There's no way, and they take you all the way back to the ropes to do it, don't they? Right, so you're and then they take like a step or two forward. So in essence, they're sending someone like fucking 18 feet. Who the fuck is going to push someone 18 feet?
Yeah. But anyway, so where were we? Yeah, he drops the knee to the face. Yeah, knee to head. He gets up, couple of arm drags, and then Spoiler powders. But fucking Leo Burke can move. He don't look like, you're looking at him, you don't think he'll fucking shift, but he can move. Then they go into a tie-up when Spoiler comes back in, and Leo Burke does that fucking chain shit, you know, where you got him in a fucking hammerlock, wrist lock, whatever, you know, like literally working round him till he goes into like a drop toe hold. Spoiler takes the front bump, and then fucking Leo Burke puts him into a hammerlock on the ground, like working the arm there, and then hammerlock on the floor. Yeah, then they cut to the commentators. One of the commentators is a wrestler that's joined him. I can't remember who it was. But then as the fucking cameras are on the commentators, I'm just hearing what's going on in the ring. And then when we go back to the ring, fucking all of a sudden the Spoiler's in control. So I don't know what happened, how he got in control, but he's fucking in control now anyway. Leo hits a sunset flip out the corner for a 2 count. And then Spoiler gets back in control. Working the head now, and it's heat by the Spoiler. Chin lock there. Works up. Burke gets out of the chin lock with the old fucking flare, like knee breaker thing. Burke's in control now. Hits a hip toss for the 2 count. Spoiler's back in control momentarily. Burke switches the I like the actual finish. I quite like. Burke. So Spoiler's back in control, but Burke switches the whip into the corner. But Yeah, Burke switches the whip. So Spoiler takes it fucking Bret Hart style forward. As he comes out, Burke puts the sleeper on him. Fucking, it looks like he's going to get out of the sleeper. So he fucking pushes the Spoiler back into the corner. He comes back out, puts the sleeper on again. Look, fucking crowd are actually going, probably the loudest they were the whole show. Fucking crowd are erupting, thinking it's going to be over with the sleeper. And then we have some outside interference as the Iranian Sheik fucking runs in. DQ, fucking, and then next thing I know, the Cuban comes in to even the odds. But yeah, that's the end of the match. It was a DQ with the run in, but it was a very good match though. I really enjoyed this match. It was a lot of fun. But, yeah,
Cool.
But I do like Leo Burke, and I would like to watch some more Leo Burke. To be fair, so.
Stick him in your YouTube machine.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, I have seen I've seen a bit of him, like quite a bit, but there's so much fucking more that I've not watched, so it'd be good to see. All right, moving on to match 4. I've got two more matches. All right, so this one is Frenchie Martin, who is the international heavyweight champion. Also, I will say that the Spoiler was one half of the tag champs as well. So I just thought I'd throw that in there. But yeah, so Frenchie Martin's the international heavyweight champ, and he's taking on Buddy Lane.
Yes, I saw a Buddy Lane, and I thought it said Buddy Wayne at the start because, you know, quite a popular name was Buddy Wayne in the wrestling world. But it was Buddy Lane, who happened to be a commentator as well, like a co-commentator on the show.
All right. Right. So, I wrote after this one. It was really good as well, but I don't think it was as good as the one I just watched.
I've never seen this Buddy Lane before, but he looked pretty cool, to be fair. Like proper over little baby face. And Frenchie Martin, fuck me. Classic, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Right, so they'll start with a tie up, get to the ropes with a break, fucking tie up again. They go into a run spot where Buddy can't fucking read what I wrote there. Buddy, oh yeah, go into a run spot where Buddy does. Oh yeah, that's right. That's quite nice. So they go into like a fucking, I think it's like from a head or something, but they go into like the normal fucking traditional international type run spot. But I think as Frenchie's doing the running, Buddy like just kind of like, you know, like just slides behind him, pushes him into the ropes for the waist lock roll up. He does that for a 2 count, and then hits a slam on Frenchie for a 2 count. But then Frenchie goes straight to the eyes for the heat. I like a fucking heel that just does shit like that. That doesn't need to do anything like, you know, because like we always say, it's fucking simple. And from a shoot point of view, what's more fucking effective than poking someone in the eyes, really? Like, you know, so it makes perfect sense to do shit like that. Really good fucking stuff from Frenchie Martin in this. It was like, so he does the eyes like fucking real heelish, and then he's choking him with his wrist tape in the corner. So he took his wrist tape off, but he's doing it so discreet that the referee can't see the wrist tape. I mean, I only seen it because I've seen him get it out, but you can't notice the wrist tape as he's doing it. And then a fucking brilliant spot as he's got him on the floor, front face lock, but got the fucking wrist tape back out. So he's choking him on the floor in the front face lock. And the referee can't see shit, just the fucking, you know what I mean? It looks so good. That's like a fucking real heel there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so discreet. Yeah, so then I've put real great heel work by Frenchie, like proper fucking good stuff.
A lot of people only remember Frenchie Martin from managing Dino Bravo.
Yeah.
Right? But like his wrestling days in the WWF in the sort of mid-80s and such were at the lower level, but he was so fucking good at that level that, I mean, everybody was good in those days. No matter what fucking, where on the show you were, where on the card, fucking first, second, or third, fucking main event. But he was so good like that. I've seen matches of, you know, it was that bottom level wrestler, but that's not against them. That's just the position they're in, right? and matches with Coco and stuff, and that kind of match that are 20 minutes of fucking amazing wrestling. And I don't think people like Frenchie Martin quite get the credit they deserve. They're always left off those, the list of generals. The ones that they don't quite call jobbers because they're too good, but they do call jobbers because they know they are. Like your Horowitz and your fucking Mike Sharp types. Frenchie Martin's every bit as good as one of them.
Oh yeah,
he's off the list.
Yeah, like you were saying, I'd never heard of Frenchie Martin in the 90s because apart from when he was doing that managing thing with brother, because obviously a kid, we didn't get all that shit beforehand. It wasn't until the later years that we could go back and watch all that stuff. And he was really good. He was like the traditional heel that you can't really, you can't say anything bad about. He was so fucking good at doing what he was meant to be doing, So yeah, there's a chin lock. Buddy fights back a little bit, but Frenchie just keeps back in control. Buddy does fight back a little bit, hits a drop kick, rams him into the buckle. Buddy whips him into the corner. Frenchie moves, and then Buddy hits the ring post with his shoulder. Back into more heat by Frenchie. More choking with the wrist tape, and then he fucking finishes it with a shoulder breaker. 1, 2, 3. Which made sense. He just fucking hit the post with his shoulder and then a little heat and then the shoulder breaker for the finish. It was a really good match. It was probably not far off as good as the Leo Burke one, I thought. Yeah, it was all right. But after the match, Frenchie goes to the commentators and gets the mic and starts just a little promo, like basically slagging off Leo Burke. So I think they might have been working towards a little something there. But yeah. Actually, I'm thinking. Oh no, yeah, that's right. Yeah, so the last match is 2 out of 3 falls match, and it is Nikita Kalemikov and Chuck Sims versus Sonny Warcloud.
Yeah, I've got Sonny Warcloud
and Cousin Mike.
Oh, he sounds like a hillbilly.
You like him? He's just your cup of tea.
Has he got dungarees on?
You what?
Has he got dungarees on?
He fucking has.
Yes. See, I love the Sonny Warcloud gimmick as well. Like those, whatever you're politically correct allowed to call them. What is it? Is it Native Americans?
Yeah.
Right. Is that the right term?
I think so.
I don't want to say anything wrong because I'm not against them in any way whatsoever. So I don't want to get the words wrong, but. The feathers and the fucking dancing and chopping. I fucking love that. I want to get me
one. Yeah. So I was just gonna say I reckon there's more fucking like hillbillies like gimmicks than there actually are like the Samoan family. I think if you got them like all together because there's fucking so many of them, isn't there? Like Hillbilly Jim and fucking everyone and.
Yeah.
Fucking Uncle Elmer.
Uncle Elmer, Cousin Luke in it, Cousin Junior, fucking Godwin's.
Yeah. So so that Nikita Kalemikov, he was actually one half of the tag champs as well with the spoiler.
Right.
And he looked a fucking beast. Like, what year is this? 86? Yeah, he looked a proper fucking unit, to be honest. Him and Chuck Sims. Yeah. So anyway, Nikita and Warcloud start. Couple of tackles. Yeah, this was the other run spot I was on about with the sleep. This was quite funny. So I had to rewind it because I wasn't sure I seen what I seen. But so they go into like a run spot straight away. Couple of tackles by Warcloud, but like the fucking big Russian dude isn't moving. So he hits the ropes once, tackle, nothing. Hits the ropes twice, tackle, nothing. Hits the ropes a third time, Nikita sleeps. Now, like we were saying earlier, why would you just run over, like fucking leap over him and fucking carry on running? So instead of doing that, he just fucking jumps on his back, then runs, comes back, jumps on his fucking back again, and then runs. So he's not literally fucking jumping over him. He's jumping fucking on him and then carrying on, you know what I mean? Which I thought was quite probably makes more sense from a shoot point of view as well, because you probably would want to stand on him, wouldn't you? Rather than just nothing.
So, when me and T-Bone started wrestling each other a lot, that was one of the things that we did on tackle, and then off I go and stand on his back on the way over, sort of thing.
Right. Yeah.
I think it's because I was a fat fucker, but he was like lean, so he could handle it. You know, I kind of knew that I wasn't going to kill it. But yeah, like it just makes total sense.
It does. It does. So yeah, he does that, jumps on him and stuff. Right. Yeah, then Nikita powders. Chuck Sims comes in, fucking pops him off as well as he runs in. There's a nice spot here. They do a full Nelson on Nikita. So Warcloud's got the full Nelson on Nikita. Nikita just fucking breaks it with his arms, boom, because he's fucking a big dude. As Nikita's like fucking posing and shit, Warcloud tags in cousin, that's the fucker, cousin Mike, as Nikita's still taunting and showing off. Then cousin Mike puts the fucking full Nelson on him. He's trying to break it. He can't break this one like he did with Warcloud. But as he's near the ropes, fucking Warcloud tags himself back in as cousin Mike's got the full Nelson on. And then fucking Warcloud just goes up to the Russian and just fucking chops him like in the front as he's in the full Nelson. Which was a nice little fucking spot there. Trying to find out where I am now. Right. Chuck. Yeah, then after the chop there, they're in control, but then Chuck gets tagged in. So Chuck gets tagged in. Warcloud's in control on Chuck. But then all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, fucking Chuck Sims just takes over on Warcloud and starts the heat there. And then Sims misses an elbow drop at some point. But then they go and they do the same spot that they've done earlier with that fucking missed shoulder spot in the corner. Literally the same spot there on Warcloud. So Warcloud's fucked. And then they got to a point now where all four are outside the ring, like fighting. And when shit like this happens, I just lose control. I don't know what the fuck's going on. But they're all outside. And then they do come back in with Chuck and Warcloud going back at it. Nikita gets tagged in. Warcloud hits a crossbody on Nikita, gets a 2 count. Cousin Mike comes in. He's on Nikita now, but then Sims comes in. It's all fucking guanin. But then Mike does the old double noggin knocker on the heels. As he's done the noggin knocker, massive backdrop on Sims. Boom. And then all of a sudden, I'm thinking, fucking, we're picking shit up here. Shit's getting serious now. And then all of a sudden, fucking out the corner, cousin Mike runs out. Fucking Lariotto. Boom. Fucking 1, 2, 3. That was the finish. That was like the fucking first fall though, because I thought that was a match. I was writing it down, writing my fucking notes, and then they're like, oh, then the match continues. So, but yeah, like out of nowhere, it was a fucking pretty good clothesline. To be fair, it was pretty beefy. And then they go into the second fall, and it's all faces now. Warcloud's in control. Big chop, fucking one of them, fucking Jimmy Snooker type things. Boom. Sims is like in trouble here. Nikita gets tagged in, then Warcloud with a massive chop on him, and Nikita took it like a trooper. Cousin Mike gets tagged in, and then they're all on now, and the faces are just just destroying Nikita, both of them. Finally, Nikita goes to the eyes. He's in control. Sims gets tagged in, but then the fucking bell goes, time limit draw. So, well, it's not a time limit draw because obviously they won the first fall. But yeah, that was the end of it. So literally, like, I guess the faces won because
would have been a 1-0 win then, wouldn't it?
Yeah. But that match was okay. I think so. It was a bit of a mixed. There wasn't anything shit by any stretch on it. I wouldn't say anything was bad. There was just some that were like average, some were more than average. But Leo Burke, I fucking loved, and it was the other one. Leo Burke was really good, and the Frenchie Martin one. Both of them were fucking Brilliant. But overall, like, I actually quite enjoyed it. I, I wouldn't even mind watching some more of it, to be honest, because they've had some pretty fucking big names on, haven't they, and stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
So definitely worth maybe checking some more out just to see.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. Like I found a channel on Facebook, on YouTube, sorry, of just this individual matches. So like going through and seeing, picking out some names there, and just watching the matches rather than the full lot of TV. And seeing how those go. But yeah, mine says June '87, right? But I think that's bollocks. I think it's before that.
Right.
Especially after listening to yours and the fact that it said it only ran till '86. Like that guy, Bobby Crawford, was a baby face on mine. And you tend to be a baby face in the early days, don't you, before you turn the villain. So maybe this might have even been before yours. Anyhow, Rebel, like you said, not shit at all by any standards. A bit slow and sluggish in parts for me, and that's fucking critical, I know, because there's no fucking slower than me. But I like slow to get to build heat, and these were a little flat in places. Only in places, like, but there were some people that I've not seen before that I really liked and that I would look into as well. But it's still the introduction, the credits at the start. Living on a Prayer was the fucking song to it, which I was going to bop into. First match as a tag was stomping Paul Pella, who you saw, and Gordy Mills versus Buddy Lane. Like I said, thought it was Buddy Wayne, but it's not. It's Buddy Lane, who was also the co-host of this show, and Sonny Warcloud. I've never seen Gordy Mills before, but he was fucking really cool. Very, he really impressed me. Did Gordy Mills, like an old grizzly type fucking grr, Lane and Mills start, and Lane just out wrestles Mills in the early going, and Mills being the fucking villain, it just gets pissed off, and he was good at being pissed off. Do you know what I mean? Bulldog Bob Brown's on the commentary, like stepping in for Buddy Lane. Paul Pella, right? He gets in. And now Paul Pella is very long. It's the only way I can describe him. He's just got long arms, long legs, and just sort of gangly. And he comes in, does a headlock and tags, which is about the limit of visibility at this point, I'd have thought. But Mills is very capable. Paul Pella's selling is like a limp fish, like because he like takes a bump and then sort of like fucking sort of goes around a little bit, and then those when somebody gets punched and they do that,
right?
Yeah, it's not fucking the birds go around your fucking head like that. Doesn't happen in life, does it? Like who in an actual fight has got punched in the face and gone, right? It's just bullshit. But War Cloud's very good too, like very good at the wrestling part and the G and upper things. It's all faces mostly on the arm in this. A good bit where Sonny leapfrogs over Lane, who's holding Pella's arm. That was right call. There's a bit of heat by Gordy Mills, throwing Lane out of the ring and then just general heel stuff. I do like Gordy Mills. I'll look up more Gordy Mills. There's a hot tag to Sonny Warcloud, but Mills is still in, probably for the best, because I don't think stomping Paul Pella would have put him over to quite as well. Pella gets in then and he gets whipped into Mills. Fucking clash together. The finish is Pella off the ropes and a double chop, which was really cool. Pella just fucking flies after that. Yeah, really good. Quite liked it. Didn't really get gel with Paul Pella. Nothing against him. I'm sure he's a lovely fella. Makes a lovely breakfast. But Gordy Mills. Gregory Mills is a shop in Worcester. Gordy Mills. Yeah, I liked him. Number 2, Bulldog Bob Brown versus our friend Bobby Crawford. I've never been a Bulldog Bob Brown fan, but he's on fucking everything, isn't he? Like, no matter what promotion you watch, like what territory you watch, like in that sort of northern sort of North America thing or Canada. He's fucking on it, and he Bulldog Bob Brown. He's fucking everywhere. I'm not saying he's shit, but I just can't gel with him. I'm just not a fan of his. So sorry if you're Bulldog Bob Brown's very dear friend that you probably met once. But he's a good heel. Like there's no doubt he's a good heel. But he just does things that I don't think makes him look as strong as he could do. I'm no fucking expert, but he little feet movements, and he's another one with arms. Very Paul Pellet, got gangly arms. But he gets the best out of doing fuck all in this match. This match with Bobby Crawford basically is a headlock, and him claiming there's a hair pull and pulling Bobby Crawford's hair. That is literally the whole match. Buddy Lane's back on commentary at this point. Crawford's thrown out, and Bulldog Bob Brown gets a bit fucking original cheeky on the floor. The stiffest kick I've ever fucking seen from Bulldog Bob Brown to the back of Bobby Crawford. I don't know whether he pissed Bob Brown off or what, but it was fucking poosh. No thigh slapping in that fucker. Bobby Crawford fires up a few kicks, a post in a snapmare and a pin attempt, and then Bobby Crawford holds a chin lock on. But Bob Brown soon fucks that off. A slam from Bob Brown, and Bob Brown up but gets flared off. Then slammed, drop kicked a couple of times, but he misses the third drop kick as Bobby Crawford, and then gets pole driven for the finish. Bob Brown over there. It was just all right, that one. Number 3. This was quite a good match, tag, and this is the interesting name rip-off. The first person was Dr. Zhivago. Now, I thought that was a fucking TV show or film or something, or somebody in a TV show, I don't know. But him and Ivan the Terrible, who looks very sort of Nikita Koloff-y, with the red Russian singlet, bald head and all the beard and that, versus the North American Tag Team Champions, Dino Ventura and, wait for it, Dynamite Kid. The tag team of the Rock and Roll Rebel Express. Yes. And they look very, they're like a hybrid of, Dynamite had those red tights with the yellow flashes down the side. So yellow or orangey flashes, aren't they?
Yeah.
Dynamite Kid's he's like wearing them, but with the tassels of the Rock and Roll Express at the same time. Like round the boots. So it's a right fucking hybrid. Dino Ventura is quite a well put together geezer. Rock and Roll Rebel Express, Dynamite Kid, and Dino Ventura. Now, there wasn't a lot to this, but it was really well put together. Excuse me. Ivan the Terrible is a very good villain. Looks the part. Doesn't move a lot, but them fucking Russians, that Russian look is really, was really over at the time, wasn't it? He's claiming a hair pull when he's got no hair. I don't know where he robbed that from me. I think fucker. Zhivago is very he looks like a long streak of piss, but he's really good. The Rock and Roll Rebel Express are a very sort of rocker tag team I've put. Lots of arm drags and arm stuff primarily in the early days. There's heat on Dynamite Kid with the double lines and double teaming and hanging and all the rest of it. Hot tag to Dino Ventura, who comes in and nails Dr. Zhivago. Line, backdrop, drop kick. And then, so here's the thing, right? Dino Ventura and Dr. Zhivago are in. Dino's cleaning Zhivago's clock. In comes Ivan the Terrible to cut off Zhivago. Dynamite Kid comes in and small packages him, even though he's not the legal man, but rules is rules, isn't it? The referee's down fucking counting the pin of this small package of the two illegal men. Dr. Zhivago kicks Dynamite Kid to break up the small package. By this point, Dino Ventura is on the top rope, crossbody to Dr. Zhivago, and it's game over. Like I said, not a lot to it, but it was my favourite out of the first 3, defo. Very capable, simple wrestling. Quite enjoyable. Number 4. Now, this was the Blast from the Past match. Right, every week apparently that we're going to take a look back at the past Olympic Grand Prix wrestling, and but this Blast from the Past was all the way from just last year, so not that long ago. So they're not going deep into the fucking archives, but it's the spoiler against Rick Patterson. I put not Don Jardine, the spoiler. But this Patterson's very good though, and they put him over really well on commentary. I don't know who Rick Patterson is, but like they're really putting him over well. Patterson with a proper good start, like powerful start, and then there's the he powders does the spoiler, and there's a coward chant from the crowd then towards the spoiler. Patterson in control on the arm for most of it. It's all Rick Patterson, all on the arm. The commentary, like honestly, they can't put over Rick Patterson enough. And the spoiler's clearly quite a big heel in this area, saying, Rick Patterson, he's going to soon be champion, blah, blah, blah. So I wonder what he did do, because he looks the part and he's getting put over well. Spoiler's done fuck all, and it's 5 minutes gone, 5 minutes gone. Spoiler has literally had fuck all in this. It's all been, the baby face. And then just at the 5 minutes, just as it gets called the 5 minute mark, he pulls Rick Patterson to the corner and cuts him off. The posting gets switched, and then young Rick Patterson's back on the arm. Spoiler here is the tag team champion. I can't tell you who with, but he was tag champion in yours, wasn't he?
Yeah.
They also read out at that point that Frenchie Martin is the heavyweight champion. Eyes by the spoiler, poke. There's a shitload of heel heat now. Very brief, but shitload of heel heat. Suplex, a chin lock from the spoiler. Patterson fires up with a big slam, misses the elbow. Spoiler with a knee drop gets a 2 count. Big monkey flip from Patterson. He tries the second, but the spoiler holds on. Bosh. He lands on the back of his ear. Then a pile driver from the spoiler for the win. A far better pile driver than Bulldog Bob Brown. Sorry out there if you're a Bulldog Bob Brown fan, but the spoiler's pile driver was just better. I'm sorry. Yeah, that was very enjoyable. The Blast from the Past from last year. Match number 5 was very brief. It was only like highlights. Rotten Ron Starr, who's the international champion, is coming to the area. And this was like highlights from a match of his from Stampede. And he's against Jerry Morrow. So it's joined in progress. Ron Starr's in control. Not much of this is shown at all. Jerry Morrow goes up, misses the knee drop, and then a slingshot suplex from Ron Starr to get that over. It is what it is. Just showing off somebody that's coming, it's like they used to the vignettes, isn't it? It's making the equivalent. And then the last match was the European champion, obviously not the promotion, they're just putting over the fact he's German in it. Killer Cole Krupp, who, legendary name to be fair, Killer Cole Krupp, versus the great Malumba, who you saw on yours, didn't you? Very sort of tribal look. This was quite enjoyable. Again, simple. Killer Cole Krupp was very much like Baron von Raschke, like with the same sort of tights and same sort of look, bald head and claw and all that. Killer attack straight off, choking, etc., etc., etc. Malumba then sort of powers out of a nerve hold and takes Cole Krupp's leg. Fucking Cole didn't want to take a bump at this point. Does a war dance kind of thing and a big kick. And then I've put he's very much like Baron von Raschke. And then just as I thought, fuck me, he's like Baron von Raschke, the commentator says, and he's the master of the claw. So it all fits in, doesn't it? It's literally just after I thought, fuck me, he's like Baron von Raschke. Malumba then, he looks really cool. Puts a nerve hold on of his own. Cole Krupp's selling proper fucking psycho, like fucking tongues out and eyeballs and fucking really good selling. And proper good attacks by this Malumba dude. Everything looks fucking solid, legit. Like there's a bit of a brawl on the floor, and Killer Cole Krupp goes in the ring as Malumba goes up on the apron. Killer puts the claw on the apron. As sort of Malumba's fading, he kind of manages to kick Krupp out the ring, and then it's a double count out. Shit finish for what is a very good match, to be fair. I mean, like I said, the whole show wasn't that shit. It was just a little bit. It was all. Every match was the same arm kind of thing, you know. And this was all the same TV show, so it wasn't picking specific matches. But I mean, the Patterson and Spoiler match was really good, and I quite like the Shivago and Ivan the Terrible against Rock and Roll Rebel Express, the Gimmick Dynamite Kid and Dino Ventura. But on the whole, you know, I mean, after the first match and into the second, I was thinking, fucking hell, this is going to be dog tits. But it got better, and I'm glad it did. You know, but the guy from the first match, Gordy Mills, he's man of the match for me because I've never seen him, and he was really good. So, Gordy Mills, go you. If you Gordy Mills is friend or family, please drop me a message and let me know how Gordy Mills is getting on. That's that. It was all right. Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah, I thought it was like my show was all right. It wasn't fucking great by any stretch, but it was far from shit. It was literally, I'd say it was above average. It was certainly above average as a whole. You know, I enjoyed it, to be honest, and I'd like to see a bit more just to see, because like you were saying, they had some fucking big names come along. So, and I always think as well, like my favorite kind of shows when you're watching stuff that we're unfamiliar with, is shows that's like got a mix of people that we're familiar with and then others that we ain't got a fucking clue about. It's good. So we had like guys like Frenchie Martin, and then you had guys like fucking, you know, the others that I had never seen before. So it's a good mix. It's a good blend, you know.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And like we said at the start, while we do it, it opens new doors to, you know, educate ourselves on people we've never seen.
Yeah.
Right. Saturday we're doing Well Done, aren't we?
That's right. Yeah. I was trying to remember who we're doing on Saturday.
Monday is your pick of Uncle Ivan Koloff, which means it's my pick for Territory Day Wednesday. With the pub opening on May the 17th, we've not got a lot of time really left that we can do as many as we do, you know, because I'll have to sort of kind of drop back a bit after that, after opening. So I'm like bringing out the big. I've got 2 territory picks left in essence, so I'm kind of bringing the big guns for the last 2. Like one's a really old one, and one's sort of a little bit more recent. But the really old one that I want to do is from maybe 74 to 77 ish, and it's the IWA, International Wrestling Association, from primarily in the Carolinas. You know, but they had the Mongols, and Mil Mascaris was the heavyweight champion, and you know, there's a fair few of them on the tube. So yeah, and then I'm saving the fucking biggest big gun, you know, my favourite bad boy for the last territory pick. You know, I was holding off until a fucking good time to bring him out, and it's just now's the time. So yeah, that's for Wednesday. Well Done, or Southern Rockers, or whatever it is, Saturday. This has been Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling. Emile Dupree's Noah Tomko. We'll see you very soon.